Hey everyone! Well, it's Testimony Tuesday, and I thought I would share my testimony today. I'm coming at you with my workout gear on because tonight I'm going to a body pump class and no makeup or anything. I literally just had a shower and put my clothes on, and then I went for a walk with my little baby. He's not little anymore, he's one, and I just put him down for a nap. So I thought I would just read all the questions that I've been asking everybody and just answer them. I don't have notes or anything, so it'll just be very spontaneous. So introduce yourself. I'm Karen. I'm 40 years old, and I live in Thompson Station, Tennessee. I am actually French. I grew up in France, and then I got married to Brett, who is Australian. We met in Paris. We moved to Perth, and we lived there for 6 years. Charlotte and David were born in Perth, Australia. And then we moved to America in 2013, and we had our third and fourth babies here in Nashville. Lots of oily testimonies in this story of pregnancy and all of that stuff. How long have you been using essential oils? Since Simon was 5 weeks old, I started using essential oils on him to help him with digestive discomfort that he was experiencing, that a lot of newborns have, and I didn't want to use harsh prescription drugs, one in particular that contained alcohol. And when he was 5 weeks old, I mean, his liver, there's no way he can process alcohol. And at that point, I was still very much in my registered nurse mind. But I wanted something better. I wanted something else. And so I tried a lot of options. And long story short, the essential oils were the only thing that worked. And after a while of researching, a few weeks of actually looking around and reading and going to the library and getting books out and all of that, I found that Young Living had the most transparent policy with essential oils and the most rigorous steps as to quality. So I jumped in with them. What made you jump in with Young Living? Okay, I just answered that. Top 5 products you can't live without and why? That's a really tricky question because I have like 15 I can't live without. But right now, currently, I would say fennel because I'm still nursing. And so I like to take a drop of fennel on my tongue like 2 to 3 times a day to keep my supply going. I would say Master Formula. Those are vitamins that Brett gets every month. And he said to me the other day, since I've been taking this, I haven't had any of my usual digestive symptoms. And he's lived with those for years, since he was 17 years old, and he's 43 now. So that was a massive win. And he's not one to sing praises of any kind of product. So Fennel, Master Formula, I would say lavender for all the little boo-boos of everyday life, touching the stove that's too hot, or my kids skinning their knees, or bug bites and things like that. Lavender is 4. And I would have to say Thieves, because all year long, there's no way we could live without Thieves. We clean with it, we apply it on ourselves to boost our immunity and fight all the yuck that's outside, especially this season. In the fall and winter, it's kind of interesting to watch people drop like flies, and we stay healthy, and yeah, and I know it's because of essential oils. So those are my 5. Currently diffusing, I love diffusing orange, lavender, and lemon at the moment in the morning. My diffusers are empty already because it's been 3 hours since we got up, but I need to refill them. It's such a boost of fresh, happy vibes in the morning. We all need that before going to school. Favorite hobby or passion? I love a lot of things. Shopping, is that a passion? I love writing books for my children. So I love having little family traditions. So for them, each child has handprints and footprints of when they were born, and I framed those. They each have a sign with their full name and what it means, date of birth, place of birth, all of that. And they each have a pole, and on it we measure them. So birth, and then we paint it, and then 1 year old, and we paint the difference, and 2 years old, etc. So every year we fill it in, and we paint it a different color. That's another little tradition that we have. And also those books that I create for them. So from the moment I'm pregnant, I start writing their story. And of course, for Charlotte, I had a ton of time. So she has like, I don't know, 4 full books with pictures and stories. And then David has maybe 2, 3. Simon has 1, and Justin has like half of 1. Of course, he's still little, but I just get less and less time to write in their books. And when they're 5, I stop. That's the limit, basically. So that's something that I love doing for my children. I'm passionate about health. I'm passionate about helping others be healthy and the best that they can be. I love reading. I love reading books that empower me. I also love reading stories of people. I love reading, some of my favorite authors are Richard Rohr, Shauna Niequist, a lady called Barbara Brown Taylor. She's amazing. I love C.S. Lewis, a classic. So I love reading that. I also love reading magazines and interior design magazines. I like drool all over it. I mean, Chip and Joanna Gaines, that's where it's at. Tell us something most people don't know about you. I don't know. I've always had yellow eyes since I was a kid, and people used to make fun of me in elementary school, call me cat's eyes or snake eyes and things like that. But as I grew older, people started to give me compliments, so that was a little bit nicer. I went parasailing, is that what you call it? When you run down a mountain and then your thing goes up, whoop, and it fills with air, and then you kind of like fly. So I did a practice run for that when I was 17 years old, and it was super fun. Something else that people don't know, I had malaria when I was 4 years old, because we traveled to Africa. We lived in Africa for a year, and I contracted malaria while there. So it's kind of a miracle that I'm still around. But yeah, what do you like most about your oily life? So what I like the most about this life is the joy that it's brought to our family. It's kind of this, of course there's the health and there's the tangible results of being healthier and having better skin and actually being able to have babies, which was not possible at one point, having lots of miscarriages. And it's the joy that it brings, and it's the empowerment that it brings when something happens and I know what to do, whereas before I would have to wait until it got bad enough so we could go to the doctor and get some prescription treatment. So it's the joy and the satisfaction and taking the control back of our health. It's all the happy feelings of cleaning my house with products that actually clean, that don't leave a film of chemicals on every surface. All of that. That's what I like the most, the overall joy that it brings. What would you tell someone who is on the fence about trying essential oils? There's a lot of thoughts that I have on that. And the main one I would say is it's all connected to our habits and our brains and how our brains work. So when we have excuses to not start something, even though we know it would be good for us, we come up with excuses. And the reason for that is our brains are wired to keep us alive. So there's a part of your brain that's constantly questioning your choices because your brain wants you to be safe. And so we are programmed to stay in community. So anything that makes you step out of that and puts you at risk of people making fun of you or criticizing or judging you, your brain is going to, that's a red flag. Anything that you do that is a change, your brain will put up a red flag and come up with excuses, reasons not to do it. So even if you are in a toxic relationship that is not serving you and not serving the other person, and you want to get out of that relationship, your brain will put up a red flag and you will come up with excuses. It's too hard, we've been together too long, or this person doesn't have to be like someone you're with, it can be a friendship. I don't want to let her down, because you don't want to be alone, because when we're alone in the old time, prehistoric times, we die. So I don't want to be alone. And all these excuses come up. Oh, I want to help her. I don't want to let people down. That's one thing. Even if that relationship is toxic, you're still in what your brain will call a comfort zone, because it's predictable. Your brain knows what's going to happen. And that's why people stay in abusive situations, because even though it's horrible and detrimental to emotional and physical health, your brain can predict what will happen, and that's comfort. So when you say that you want to try essential oils, you want to try that new thing, there can be a ton of red flags that come up. There can be all of these, your favorite excuses that come up, even though you know that past those hurdles, there is health and beauty and hope and wellness and a community and love. Your brain will put up all of these excuses so you don't have access to that. So I don't have enough money. I'm scared of what people will say, because it's network marketing. I'm scared. I don't want people to not like me. That's an approval issue. But it's your brain saying, don't leave your community or you'll be alone and you might die. It's very primal. Our brains are very primal. I don't have time. That's a big favorite. I'm too busy. I don't have time. What else is there? Basically, that's it. I don't have the money. I don't have time. I will be the weirdo. I'll be the weirdo. So these excuses that come up are preventing you from stepping out of the life that you're in right now, and you want to step out of it. But because these excuses come up, you keep doing the same things over and over, and you're not getting different results. So what I would say is count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And the reason we count backwards is because when you get to 0, there's nothing else. You can't keep counting. If you count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can still count, you can delay, but count backwards from 5 to 0 and then jump in. The no money thing, I mean, these are actually reason them out. I bought my kit when I had just lost my job. I had a new baby at home, so we had less income and more expenses. And I wasn't nursing. I couldn't nurse, so I had to buy all the formula. I had to buy all the diapers. I bought my kit. And then, because the health of my baby was more important than any excuses, so I shut down all of these excuses, all the warning signs in my brain, all the red flags. You're gonna be weird. You don't have money. You don't have time. It's too much. How are you gonna learn all that? I was like, Simon. He matters more. He matters more. And so I got my kit and I jumped in. And then little by little, so the time thing is really nothing, because who doesn't have time to brush their teeth? You brush your teeth. Just switch your toothpaste to one that doesn't have artificial coloring in it. They put blue artificial coloring, which is basically like paint or nail polish to make it look blue. Why do we want nail polish to look blue or red? What's the point of that? Why are we swallowing red 40 while we brush our teeth? So you just swap it. Get a clean toothpaste. When you have head tension, don't pop a Tylenol. Grab your peppermint, put it on your temples and the back of your neck. And then do it again and again and again. And that's another thing. People are afraid that it won't work. So the thing about that is essential oils are meant to work with our bodies because they are plants and our bodies recognize them. That's the end of story. It's scientifically proven. There's lots of research out there, so they work. Now, because of our fear, we just put a little bit on, we don't see any results, and we're like, oh yeah, there you go. I told you. It doesn't work. The thing about creating new habit is that it has to be done day after day after day after day. It's kind of like a baby walking. Right now, Justin is learning to walk. Do you think he gets up one day, takes 2 steps, and then falls and says, oh, there you go. I can't walk. I tried the walking thing. It doesn't work. I'm just going to crawl for the rest of my life. For real? That's what we say when we try oils one time and we say it doesn't work and we give up. That's not what you need to do. You need to do it again and again and again. And it's a little bit every day, every morning, every hour when you're feeling unwell. That roller goes on your back every hour, under your feet every hour. You pop that thieves in your mouth every couple of hours, regularly, day after day after day. And that's when you turn around after a while and you see the road that you've come, the journey you've accomplished, and the results you have today, you will be thankful that you did not let your excuses hold you back in a life of just a mediocre situation, that you jumped in and you wanted something better for yourself and you did it. So I would say no excuses. Don't let your brain trick you into that survival mode. Just jump in. There is a community. You will be loved. You will have a whole new community loving on you. Myself, Anna, Holly, and countless others, Talia, Emma in Australia, we're all over the world and we're ready to love on you and walk with you in this journey because we have done the hard miles and we know what it takes and we can hold your hand and we can walk you through each hurdle. So number one, you will not be alone. Number two, you're not too busy because everybody has time to go to the bathroom, brush their teeth, put your clothes on in the morning, you put your lotion on in the morning, switch to healthier options. Drop lavender in your mascara, drop lavender and frankincense in your moisturizer. How long does that take? 0 time. And then your moisturizer is actually doing something good for your skin. It's beneficial for the cells of your skin and all inside of your body. Open a bottle when you feel stressed about something, sniff it. Instead of you're replacing your habits, you're switching them out. So you're not too busy. It doesn't take time. You don't have to do a 3-year course in aromatherapy. No, you get your kit, you open your bottles, you smell them, you incorporate them one day at a time, one drop at a time to be successful. What's the third one? No money. You have money. When I got my kit, I sold clothes. I sold things that we had to make extra money to buy my kit. I went with my friend Emily and I cleaned homes with her. And by the way, she's a boss. She owns her cleaning business, her photography business. She works with Young Living. She's a boss. All while being single. I mean, she's amazing. I worked with her cleaning homes. And with that money, I got my kit. When you want something, you will get it. I remember doing the Financial Peace University, Dave Ramsey, and he said money is an emotional thing. I'm like, what? No, it's not. It's just dollar bills and there's nothing emotional. And he said, okay, so he said, imagine this. There's a disease going around in the United States and it affects only children. And the only way to get a vaccine is to pay $3,000 to get the vaccine. You cannot put it on a credit card. You cannot go into debt to get it. You need to come up with $3,000. Now the wheels are turning. Now you want that vaccine because you want your children to stay alive. So you're going to come up with that money. And everybody, you could see the wheels were turning and everybody like, oh, how can I come up with it? I can take up an extra shift at work. I can sell this. I can cut my Starbucks habits. I can not do a mani-pedi every month. All of these things. I can buy another brand of this or that. And you would come up with $3,000. The good news with oils is that it's not $3,000. Normally it's $160 for over $360 value. But until today's the last day, it's $144. Young Living wants everybody to have that kit in their homes because it has a diffuser and it has 11 essential oils that you need to support your entire body systems. And it even has a cleaner. They added the Thieves Cleaner in it, so you can start on a chemical-free home. I mean, I'm just gonna stop talking now because I feel like I rest my case. That's all. It's just there's a no-brainer. I feel like sometimes we overcomplicate it, but it's not complicated. You go on youngliving.com, you click become a member, you type in the member number of the person who introduced you to this group or to oils. And if you don't know, just tag them in this post and ask them, they will tell you. And then you go through, you put in your address, you select your kits. I recommend the premium starter kit with the Desert Mist diffuser because it goes for 10 hours so you can diffuse at night. And then you check out and you're good. $144. That's it. You can do it. If I could do it when I lost a job and I had a newborn baby, my third child, you can do it. I promise. Have a great day.